सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं परमानन्दमाधवम्। सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्त गोचरं तमगोचरं गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। So while discussing about the three gunas of Maya, so far Shankaracharya ji had explained Rajoguna, Tamoguna, and in the last session we also saw the explanation on Sattva Guna. But here the explanation of Sattva Guna is on two levels, Mishra Sattva and Vishuddha Sattva. Mishra Sattva is when that Sattva is added, mixed with Rajas and Tamas. And it was said that that is when it becomes cause of bondage. One of the causes. Rajas and Tamas is also causes for bondage. Similarly, Sattva also becomes cause for bondage when it is mixed with Tabhyam militva, mixed with Rajas and Tamas. Right? And it is this Sattva where the consciousness gets reflected. And through this reflection of consciousness, the inert world also appears to be sentient. So it is through the agency of this Sattva that the consciousness is borrowed from the self to the inert world. Right? That is also we had seen. Then we saw in the next two verses what are the qualities of Mishra Sattva and Vishuddha Sattva. So the qualities of Mishra Sattva, dharma, characteristics of Mishra Sattva are all the good virtues explained in the scriptures. May it be Bhagavad Gita talking about amanitvam, adambitvam, etc. or talking about abhayam sattva samshuddhi, daivi sampat, or the Upanishads and the Prakarana Granthas talking about samadhi shat sampatti, sadhana chatushtaya, right? Or it can be the qualities which are spoken of in Ashtanga Yoga, yama, niyama, ityadi, shraddha, bhakti, all these kind of virtues together are the characteristics of Mishra Sattva. They are good qualities. They are the ones which combat with the Rajasic and Tamasic qualities. Right? Now what are the qualities of Vishuddha Sattva? So we saw that it's not qualities, but it is the nature. Nature of pure Sattva, Vishuddha Sattva. What is that? Prasada. Unconditioned joy. Swatma anubhuti, experience of one's own self. parama, supreme state, praśāntiḥ, absolute peace, triptiḥ, contentment, praharshaḥ, bliss, paramatmanistha, abidance in the self, that by which one comes to experience sadanandarasam, the essence of one's own true bliss. That is what is called as Vishuddha Sattva. So actually speaking, by pointing out the qualities of Vishuddha Sattva, the state of realization is pointed out. So here Vishuddha Sattva means state of realization. Jnani, Jivan Mukti. The state of knowledge, state of absolute abidance in that self-knowledge. That is what is spoken of as Vishuddha Sattva. Right? This is what Bhagavan had also explained in Bhagavad Gita. First you become Nitya Sattvastha and then you become Gunatraya Tita, Gunatraya Atita. Nishtrayi Gunnyo Bhava. You go beyond the three gunas. But for that, be ever established in Sattva. What is that? That is Mishra Sattva. When you establish yourself in Mishra Sattva, it combats with Rajas and Tamas, it removes Rajas and Tamas and becomes Vishuddha Sattva. That is what happens. So that was also explained in this beautiful series of verses. Now, we have to see the causal body as it is. So we started the description of māyā, right? And then Shankaracharya explained the three gunas. Now all these are put together and he tells us what is the concept called as causal body, karana sharira. If you remember, in case of subtle body also he had done similar thing. First he had mentioned individual things, 5 jnanendriyas, 5 karmendriyas, antakarana chatushtaya, 5 pranas, and then he had put all that together and explained what is subtle body. Now that's what he does. Actually we are towards the end of subtle body causal body discussion, and that is where he is putting the concept of causal body together. So far whatever we have seen in bits and pieces here and there, now all that is put together. Let us read. Verse number 120. Avyaktametattriguṇairniruktaṃ tatkāraṇaṃ nāma śarīramātmanaḥ suṣuptiretasya vibhaktyavasthā pralīnasarvendriyabuddhivṛttiḥ avyaktametattriguṇairniruktaṃ tatkāraṇaṃ nāma śarīramātmanaḥ suṣuptiretasya vibhaktyavasthā pralīnasarvendriyabuddhivṛttiḥ. Etat avyaktam. Avyaktam etat. This is avyaktam. Now this avyakta word is indicative of māyā. Why? Because the description of māyā, Shankaracharya ji had begun with this word. So we refer page number 3 to page number 7. That's how we give reference. Shankaracharya ji is saying avyaktam. You remember we had started explaining avyaktanamni paramesha shakti anadya vidya triguṇātmika para karyanumeya. The avyaktam on words. Avyaktam etat. Etat avyaktam. This unmanifest. Trigunaihi niruktam. Niruktam described. Described through 3 gunas. Or described as having 3 gunas. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. About which also explanation was given. Tat, that Atmanaḥ shariram, that is one body of the self, body upadhi of the self. What is it called? Kāraṇaṃ nāma śarīram. It is the body which is called by the name causal, kārana sharira, causal body. It is a conditioning upadhi of the self which is called as causal body, kārana sharira. So basically what is he saying? That Maya, what we called as avidya, that itself is karana sharira. There is nothing else. In subtle body, what had happened? In subtle body, there was list of items, constituents put together, formed subtle body. In causal body also, are there different aspects which are put together? No. Causal body is avyakta, avidya, maya, whatever you want to call. Now that maya was explained as having three gunas. That is okay. But it is not that it is maya plus three gunas. No, maya already has those three gunas. So that avyakta, unmanifest, is called as causal body. So what is causal body actually? It is nothing but single mass of ignorance. Homogeneous mass. Ignorance alone is there. There is nothing else. Sometimes we also say that vasanas are there in the causal body. Isn't it? But they are also not in the form of vasanas. They are in the form of a seed. Seed of all vasanas. So one way we can say that all vasanas are there. Yeah, but all vasanas are not as different vasanas. They are all as one homogeneous mass. Example, classic example at that time also we had seen was seed. In the seed, each and every part of the tree is there, but in potential form, as a homogeneous form. Inside the seed, you will not say that, okay, this is the trunk, and this is the branch, and this is the leaf, and this is the fruit. No. In the seed, everything is present as one homogeneous mass, in unmanifest form. When it manifests, the variety comes. Getting it? So, etat avyaktam kāraṇaṃ nāma śarīram. That is what is called as karana sharira. Okay. Now there was something called as gross body also, sthula sharira. And jagatprasiddheḥ was called as special state for that gross body. Then there was subtle body also, sukshma sharira. And swapnavastha, dream state, was called as a special state. Though that subtle body is present in waking, in Jagrat, but the special state for subtle body was explained as swapna, dream. Similarly, here he says, suṣuptiretasya vibhaktyavasthā. Its special state, etasya, of this karana sharira, of this causal body, vibhaktyavasthā, special state is suṣuptihi. Suṣuptihi. Supti means sleep. Suṣupti, deep sleep. Deep sleep means what? Where there is not even dream. Where you have no feeling of being a man or a woman, a young or a old. Where you don't have any kind of feeling. Deep sleep. Suṣupti. That is called as suṣupti. Because of some rule, ukara comes before, therefore sakara changes to sh. Just like in Upanishad. Upanisad. But that because rasva ikara is there before, so sa becomes sh. Some rule is there. Similarly here, suṣupti, suṣupti, it becomes suṣupti. Suṣupti means what? Deep sleep. This deep sleep is its special state. Again, please understand, when it is said as special state, what it means? Karana sharira is there in swapnavastha also, dream also. It is there in waking also, jagratavastha also. But it is specially there in deep sleep state. Why? Because in deep sleep state there is nothing else. Gross and subtle bodies are not there. Therefore, it is the special state for causal body. That's what he says. Pralīnasarvendriyabuddhivṛttiḥ, where vritti, thought, buddhi, of mind, sarvendriya, and all senses, pralīna, are absorbed, are suspended, are merged. That deep sleep state where the thoughts of the mind and all the senses, all of them are merged, with that Karana Sharira, that is the special state of Karana Sharira. Now somebody will say, Vedji, Sarvendriya is said, Buddhi is said, but body is not said. Why body is not said? Because body was anyways not there in dream also. Gross body, isn't it? Here he is referring that subtle body merges with the causal body in deep sleep. Therefore he says Sarvendriya Buddhi. By Upalakshana we have to understand pranas and etc., mind and antakarana. We have to understand by Upalakshana. But he is referring that subtle body has merged into causal body. This is what is called as, deep sleep is what is called as Nitya Pralaya. See, understand this concept also. I don't remember whether we have seen this. Pralaya concept is there, dissolution. And Srishti is there, creation. See, in Vedanta, Srishti and Pralaya, these are not coming to existence and becoming non-existent. These concepts are not there. Srishti doesn't mean something comes to existence, and Pralaya doesn't mean something becomes non-existent. Then how do we understand Srishti and Pralaya in Vedanta? Srishti means, creation means unmanifest becoming manifest. And Pralaya means manifest going back to unmanifest form. That's it. There is no concept of new creation at the time of Srishti. And at the time of Pralaya, there is no concept of no creation. No. Srishti means what? Unmanifest becomes manifest. And Pralaya means what? Manifest goes back to unmanifest form. Therefore, this deep sleep is also one kind of Pralaya. Prakarshena layah, total dissolution. Dissolution means what? The manifest has gone back to become unmanifest. It has gone back to its potential form, homogeneous form. Then what will happen? Then next day when you get up, again that unmanifest will become manifest. So it is called as Nitya Pralaya. Nitya Pralaya. 4 types of Pralayas are there. Nitya Pralaya, Naimittika Pralaya, Prakrita Pralaya and Atyantika Pralaya. Nitya Pralaya means what? Every day, our every day. Nitya. Every day we sleep means what? The manifest becomes unmanifest, isn't it? Actually, the whole world is folded back inside you in your deep sleep. That's what happens. Your mind, your body, everything is become unmanifest now. You don't even realize where you are and what are you doing, whether you are in Kerala or you are in some other state, whether you are in India or is it a day or a night? Are you a man or a woman? Nothing. All that has gone to unmanifest form. And when you wake up, what happens? Everything is manifested again as it was before. Luckily it is as it was before. Otherwise, I slept as a man, got up as a woman, and now I have to find out ways of continuing my life. Why? Everything has changed. No, yatha purvam. As it was before, as you went to sleep, when you get up, same thing is unfolded back. Nitya Pralaya. Naimittika Pralaya. Naimittika Pralaya means night of Brahmaji. So Brahmaji goes to sleep. So whatever creation is there is folded back into Brahmaji. So they say Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha. These 3 worlds. And of course the lower worlds, 7. 10 worlds are folded into Brahmaji. The top 4 worlds remain, they say. Why? For Brahmaji to sleep. Something has to be there, no? So the top 4 worlds are there. All other 10 worlds have folded back. Every night of Brahmaji. Brahmaji's night, okay? Not our night. Brahmaji's night. And then when Brahmaji gets up, what happens? Yatha Purvam Srishti. As it was, the same way it continues. So I was typing something before sleeping. then I slept. When I get up, where I have reached, from there I continue typing. Previous thing is not gone. It is saved. Where I had left, from there I begin. Not just me, all the jivas. That is called as naimittika pralaya. Prakrita pralaya means end of lifetime of Brahmaji. Naimittika pralaya is every night of Brahmaji. Like that he lives for 100 years, his 100 years. And then Brahmaji's lifespan is over. So he goes away, new person comes to that post. And then that new Brahmaji creates. How? Yatha purvam. How the previous Brahmaji had left, from there he begins. So there is no concept of new creation, you see. From manifest it has gone to unmanifest. Now it comes back to manifestation. It's called as Prakrita Pralaya, end of lifetime of Brahmaji. Fourth Pralaya is called as Atyantika Pralaya. Atyantika means absolute dissolution. Means what? After this dissolution there is no Srishti. In all other kinds of Pralayas, there is Pralaya and afterwards there is again Srishti. Isn't it? Nitya Pralaya, you sleep, but you get up. Naimittika Pralaya, Brahmaji sleeps, but Brahmaji gets up. Prakrita Pralaya, Brahmaji's lifespan is over. Other Brahmaji comes and starts the Srishti. In Atyantika Pralaya, it is absolute dissolution. Means what? There is no Srishti following that. What is this Atyantika Pralaya? That is what is called as Moksha. The samsara, the world is dissolved once and for all. No more it comes back. Okay. Getting it? So in sleep what has happened? Entire manifested world has gone to unmanifest form. My manifested world has gone to unmanifest form. To my causal body, my subtle and gross body have dissolved. Now, when this deep sleep is discussed, there are many doubts. Many people have many doubts about this. They ask, is there mind in the deep sleep? Who experiences deep sleep, etc. So let us understand it a bit. In the waking state, all our senses, when I say outer senses, inner senses, antakarana, the karana sharira, causal body, the physical body, gross body, everything is functioning. In dream, my gross body is not present. Gross body has gone to sleep. In my dream, there is a different body that I get in the dream body. But the present gross body is sleeping on the bed. It doesn't take part in the dream. So too my intellect doesn't take part. Intellect is also sleeping. Pavam, he has worked so much, intellect throughout the day. So it sleeps. So it is all what we say as play of mind. Mind is playing in full form. Where? In dream. Now that mind becomes quiet. That is called as deep sleep. That is called as deep sleep. So do you mean to say there is no mind in deep sleep? Yes. Correct. If you define mind as flow of thoughts, then there is no mind in deep sleep. Why? Because there is no flow of thoughts. But rather, there is only one thought in the deep sleep. And that thought is called as ajnana vritti. I know nothing. This is the thought. I know nothing. Absence of all objects, absence of all emotions, absence of all instruments. That is what is there in deep sleep. So if you define mind to be flow of thoughts, flow is not there in deep sleep. Therefore, you will have to say mind is not there in deep sleep. But suppose you define mind to be thought, then one thought is there in deep sleep. So you can say mind is there in deep sleep. So when somebody catches you, is there mind in deep sleep or not? You have to ask, what do you consider as mind? That you explain to me first. If you think mind is number of thoughts coming one after another, there is no mind in deep sleep. Mind has gone to take rest. If you define mind as a thought, okay, then we can say that there is mind in deep sleep. But actually that mind is not called mind. Why? Because it doesn't behave like mind. It is exactly like children who are sleeping. How do we immediately say, thank God? The mother, while initially taking care of the child, becomes so irritated because the child doesn't rest at all. So when the child sleeps, mother feels, thank God, slept for some time. But the same mother can't see that the child is sleeping without doing anything. So unnecessarily she will go and wake him up also. Why? Because the child who is sleeping is not child. Why? Child should do something. Should cry, should run here and there. Then only it is called as. So the mind which is in deep sleep, there is a thought, but it is not called as mind. Because generally how the mind is, always functional, always active, always jumping from one thought to another, that kind of thing is not there. So we say there is no mind in deep sleep. That's okay. That ajnana vritti also is not antakarana parinama. It is the karana sharira's vritti. Not the vritti of the subtle body, but it is the vritti of the causal body. Right? Ajnana vritti. Then what happens interestingly, because there is only single thought, I know nothing. So there is no thought that I am a man, I am young, I am Indian, I am Brahmin. All these thoughts are not there. So therefore, everybody's deep sleep state is same. Absolutely same. The distinctions are all made by subtle body. Now the subtle body is not there. So everybody's experience of deep sleep is exactly same. What is that? I know nothing. I don't even know who I am and where I am. Another interesting thing about deep sleep is, because I know nothing, I experience an extreme amount of peace, which I call as joy. See, in waking and dream, what happens? Mind is continuously either perceiving in waking or projecting in the dream. So continuously one thought after another thought, there is complete disturbance. In deep sleep, there is no disturbance. So what? So you experience peace. That same peace is what I call as joy. Nobody experiences sorrow in deep sleep. Remember this point. In dream, you may experience sorrow. Some terrible dream I saw. Possible. In waking, you can experience sorrow. But in deep sleep, we cannot experience sorrow. We only experience joy. And therefore, we love to go back to that state. Actually speaking, the state that we love the most is deep sleep. And we are ready to compromise on anything else, but not on sleep. We can't compromise on sleep. You want to remain awake because something interesting is going on. You are watching a nice movie, you are talking with friends, you are listening to lecture, whatever. But when that deep sleep comes, no joy surpasses that in our experience, and therefore we love to go back to that state again and again. Shankaracharya defines this suṣuptiretasya in Tattvabodha as aham kimapi na janami sukhena maya nidra anubhuyate iti suṣuptiretasya kārana śarīramātmani ātmā prajña ityuchyate. Now the question is, who is experiencing this deep sleep? Because mind is not there. Isn't it? Is there anyone experiencing the deep sleep state? Yes, there has to be. Why? Because when I get up, I say, I slept nicely. Or you get up and you say, I did not sleep today properly. There has to be someone who experiences. This is a very important concept. In Shunyavada, etc., in the Buddha theory, they say state of realization is like the deep sleep where there is nothing. Where there is nothing. But Advaita Vedanta, we say, we agree that there is nothing to be experienced, but the experiencer is there who sees that there is nothing. Very important point. According to Shunyavada, there is no experiencer also, there is nothing. But we ask question, how do you know there is nothing? Who knows that there is nothing? Somebody has to be there to know that there is nothing. You know what happened today? What? I went for class and there was no one. How do you say there was no one? You were there. Why? You went. You went and saw that there was nobody else. But we generally say there was nobody, so I came back. But you were there. So if you say there is nothing, there has to be someone experiencing that nothing, telling that there was nothing. So there is a kind of ego, a kind of jiva, which we call as prajna, which is there in deep sleep. Deep sleeper, if you want to call, is there. The only thing at that time what happens is, since in deep sleep there is only one thought, what that prajna or that jiva is experiencing is not able to verbalize the experience in that state. So in deep sleep, I only experience. When I wake up, I verbalize that experience and I say, I slept nicely. Verbalization of experience is not happening in deep sleep. Doesn't mean experience is not happening in deep sleep. I am experiencing, but I am not able to express in deep sleep. Why? Because there is no thought, there is no mind. But I am there. The same I who was in the waking went to dream, the same I is there in the deep sleep, experiencing the deep sleep, and when the same I wakes up, I say I slept nicely. This all I is this jiva, becomes Vishwa in waking, Taijasa in dream, and Prajna in deep sleep. It's the same jiva. So there is someone in deep sleep experiencing nothing. So in waking, that someone who is called as jiva experiences the world outside through the senses. In the dream, the same individual jiva experiences the world projected by the mind. In the deep sleep, the same jiva experiences absence of waking and dream, absence of mind and gross body, absence of everything. It is the same individual who experiences all this. In Kaivalya Upanishad, this concept is explained beautifully. If you want to refer, you can refer there. Sa eva māyā parimohitātmā śarīramāsthāya karoti sarvaṃ striyannapānādi viṣishta bhogai suṣupti jagrat. What is that? Some mantra is there like that. Sa eva māyā parimohitātmā. Starting from there, 3-4 mantras. Right? In Kaivalya Upanishad, beautiful explanation is there. That it is the same individual which experiences the world of objects in the waking, which experiences the dream world projected by the mind, which experiences absolutely nothing in the deep sleep. And it is the same jiva which continues with one deha to another deha in different kinds of births. It is the same individual. Swayameva jagrat parisuptimeti. That is the remaining line of that. Right? So in deep sleep, there is no mind because there is no thought. But in deep sleep, I am there, who is experiencing the absence of everything. And what I experience in the deep sleep is what is called as karana sharira. So what is karana sharira? Ignorance. Single mass of ignorance. Okay. Sometimes we saw that there is only one thought in the deep sleep, which is called as ajnana vritti, remember? Sometimes they will say this ajnana vritti only is called as ananda vritti. Why ananda vritti? Because there is nothing. So you experience bliss. And you are actually experiencing bliss of the self only. But because of ajnana vritti, you don't know that it is the bliss of the self. It is covered. Ajnana vritti is covering that knowledge from you. You are experiencing bliss of the self, but you don't know you are experiencing bliss of the self. In Upanishads, etc., at one place it is said, in deep sleep, what do we do? Ahar ahar brahma gamayati, it is said. Every day we visit Brahman and come back. When? In deep sleep. But the only thing is that we don't know that it is Brahman that we are visiting. Every day we go and touch Brahma and come back. But we don't know that the bliss that I experience in deep sleep is that of the self. Why? Ajnana vritti is covering it. That is karana sharira, ajnana. That is what is. The deep sleep is the special state for this karana sharira. Okay. Next verse. He is just putting the thoughts to conclusion related to karana sharira. Let us read. Verse number 121. sarvaprakārapramitipraśāntiḥ. sarvaprakārapramitipraśāntiḥ. bījātmanāvasthitireva buddheḥ. bījātmanāvasthitireva buddheḥ. suṣuptiretasya kila pratītiḥ. suṣuptiretasya kila pratītiḥ. kiṃcinna vedmīti jagatprasiddheḥ. kiṃcinna vedmīti jagatprasiddheḥ. sarvaprakārapramitipraśāntiḥ. bījātmanāvasthitireva buddheḥ. suṣuptiretasya kila pratītiḥ. kiṃcinna vedmīti jagatprasiddheḥ. What is he saying here? See. sarvaprakārapramitipraśāntiḥ. Praśāntiḥ, absolute cessation. Absolute cessation of what? Pramiti. Pramiti is thought. Sarvaprakara, all kinds of thoughts. All kinds of perceptions, all kinds of thoughts, all kind of knowledge. All these are different meanings of the word pramiti. Perception, knowledge, thought. Sarvaprakārapramiti praśāntiḥ. There is absolute cessation of all these different kinds of thoughts. bījātmanāeva eva sthitiḥ buddheḥ. buddheḥ avasthitihi. Bījātmanā avasthitihi eva buddheḥ. Bījātmanā, like the seed. Buddheḥ avasthitihi. Buddheḥ avasthitihi, presence of buddhi, mind. So the presence of mind is only like a seed. Means what? In its potential form. Mind is not present as mind. Mind is present as unmanifest mind. Potential mind. Seed of mind, if you want to say. So buddheḥ avasthitihi, presence of mind, of buddhi, bījātmanā eva, is like only a seed. Is only like a seed. The mind is not present with all its thoughts, etc. It is in seed form, unmanifest form. Suṣuptiretasya pratītiḥ kila. Kila means, isn't it? Suṣuptihi, deep sleep, etasya, of this causal body, pratītiḥ, experience. Isn't it? Kila. Isn't it that the deep sleep is its experience of this causal body? Yes. And what is my experience in this deep sleep? Kiṃcinna vedmīti. I don't know anything. Kiṃcit, even a bit, na vedmīti, I don't know. Iti jagatprasiddheḥ. This is well known, universal experience this is. Everybody knows this. Why? Because everybody's experience is same. Jagatprasiddheḥ is to say that everybody's experience of deep sleep is same. Everybody's experience of waking is different. Everybody's experience of dream is very different. But everybody's experience of deep sleep is same. What is that? Kiṃcinna vedmīti. I know nothing. I don't know anything, even a bit. This is what is kārana śarīra, causal body, and this is what is the deep sleep is what? Its special state. Okay. Understanding? So what do we get from here? In deep sleep, what happens is the gross and subtle body become unmanifest, causal. They become one with the causal body, one homogeneous mass of nothingness, ignorance. And when you again start dreaming or you wake up, the subtle body and gross body come back. They become manifest again. Okay. This is what is causal body. What is causal body? Ignorance. Māyā, of the nature of three gunas. That is causal body. And the special state of this causal body is deep sleep state. Now, after explaining all these concepts, now Shankaracharya ji concludes the topic of hyanātmā. He has concluded the topic of Karana Sharira now. So hyanātmā topic started where? Verse 72. So 72 up to 91 was the topic of gross body, first upadhi, sthula sharira. In that also, first 72, 73, 74 was explaining the gross body. What is gross body? Then 75 to 82, Vishaya Sakti was condemned. Then 83 onwards, Deha Sakti was condemned. 83 to 86. And 87 to 91, Deha itself was condemned. The body itself was condemned. Correct? So from 72 to 91, we say is sthula sharira. Then from 92 to 107 was the topic of sukshma sharira, where first the individual constituents of subtle body 92 to 95, then the subtle body itself 96, 97, 98, then 99 to 110, 102 how self is untouched by the qualities and functions of the subtle body and by subtle body itself. Then 103 to 105 ego was explained. Then 106, 107, the self being of the nature of bliss was explained, which is beyond the joy and sorrow of the subtle body. That's how it was explained. So 92 to 107, Sukshma Sharira was explained. Right? And then we saw last section of this Anatma, that is Karana Sharira, verses 108 to 123. So 108 to 110, 3 verses on Maya. Then Rajoguna 2 verses, 11 and 12, 111 and 112. Tamoguna 4 verses, 13, 14, 15, 16. Sattoguna 3 verses, 17, 18, 19. Then 20 and 21, causal body was concluded. And now 22 and 23, he concludes the topic of Anatma. So starting from 72 up to 123 was the answer to the question, Kaha asau Anatma. So how does he conclude? Let us read verse number 122. Dehendriyaprāṇamano'hamādayaḥ sarve vikārā viṣayāḥ sukhādayaḥ vyomādibhūtānyakhilaṃ ca viṣvaṃ avyaktaparyantamidaṃ hyanātmā dehendriyaprāṇamano'hamādayaḥ sarve vikārā viṣayāḥ sukhādayaḥ vyomādibhūtānyakhilaṃ ca viṣvaṃ avyaktaparyantamidaṃ hyanātmā. Very simple. After studying 121 verses, I don't think I need to explain this at all. Deha, body, indriya, senses, prana, the vital airs, pranas, manaha, mind, aham, ahankara, ego, adayaha, etc., sarve, all these. Then what? Vikārāha, modifications. Their modifications. Whose modifications? Of all these. All these sarve plus their modifications. What are the modifications? Sukhādayaḥ, sukha, etc., sukha, dukkha, etc., etc. Raga, dvesha, kama, krodha, etc. Asti, jayate, vardhate, viparinamati, all that. We have seen that. All their modifications. Viṣayāḥ, viṣayāḥ, the sense objects. The sense objects. Shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha, the objects that we perceive, the trees and the mountains and the rivers, everything. Viṣayāḥ, sense objects. Vyomādibhūtāni, bhūtāni, elements. Vyomādi, space, etc. 5 elements. Space, air, fire, water, earth. 5 elements. Akhilam cha viṣvaṃ, and the akhila vishwa, entire world. Avyaktaparyantam, up to avyakta, up to māyā, up to unmanifest. Hi, idam, anatma. Idam, this, all this put together, he, indeed, is anatma. Anatma, na atma. Na atma, not the self, not me. All this is not me. I am not the deha, body, senses, pranas, mind, ego, their modifications, the sense objects, the 5 elements, the entire world of objects and beings, up to Maya. None of this is me. Veji, too many things to count. No need. Idam hi anatma. That much you can remember. Idam means this. Whatever is this is not self, is anatma. This body, this mind, this prana, this object, this. Whatever you can call as this is not self. Idam means anatma. Simple. Okay? Whatever is this is not self. Okay. But one question. So, whatever is this is not self. So, next verse, 123. Little bit different tune is there. māyākāryaṃ sarvaṃ mahadādidehaparyantam asadidamanaṭmatattvam vidhi tvam marumarichika kalpam māyākāryaṃ sarvaṃ mahadādidehaparyantam asadidamanaṭmatattvam vidhi tvam marumarichika kalpam. Shankaracharya says, let me put this anatma in simple terms for you. māyākāryaṃ sarvaṃ. What is anatma? Māyā and māyākārya. Māyākārya, effect of māyā. So the cause māyā and all its effects, sarvaṃ. And what is the effect of māyā? Mahat adi deha paryantam. Starting from mahat. Mahat is total mind. Starting from mahat, deha paryantam, up to gross body. So starting from mahat means what? The total mind, the 5 subtle elements, and then their sattvic, rajasic, tamasic aspects, then the 5 gross elements, then the entire world of gross objects, the subtle world, subtle body, everything. These all called as māyākārya, effect of māyā. So māyākāryaṃ sarvaṃ. Māyā and effect of māyā, mahatadi deha paryantam, starting from total mind up to your gross body, asat. He says all this is asat. Asat, unreal. It is not sat. Why? Because it is anatma. Atma is sat. Anatma is asat. Simple. Asat. Idam. It is this. This. Here, idam is not pronoun. Idam is visheshana. It is this. It is this means what? Not me. Anatma tattvam. It is not atma tattva. It is not the self. It is anatma tattva. It is not self. So māyā and the effect of māyā, beginning from total mind up to the gross world, all this, the entire collection is what? Unreal, called as this, and is not me, is not self. Tvam vidhi, you please understand this. The teacher is teaching to the student. Tvam vidhi, you understand this. What? Marumarichika kalpam. The entire thing, anatma, is kalpam, is like marumarichika. Marumarichika, like mirage. Maru means desert sand. Marichika means the mirage water. Please understand that the entire gamut of anatma is unreal. It is like mirage water. It is essenceless. It is existenceless. It is inert. The only essential existence is its substratum, the self, that is you. Everything other than that is not you, and therefore it is not real. So why are they explaining anātmā? To make me understand what I am not, and to make me understand that it is not real. Both. Anātmā has essentially two things. One is gross body, subtle body, causal body, which I consider to be me. And anātmā also has the world, which I consider to be real. By calling everything as anātmā, it is explained that it is neither me nor is it real. Okay. Bandha, what is bandha? This is what was called as bandha, no? Anātmani atmabuddhihi jagati satyabuddhihi. The feeling of I in something that is not me, and feeling of reality in the world which is not real. Now here, by taking everything as anātmā, it is explained that it is not me and it is not real. Why is it not real? Because it is not me, if you want to say it like that. The only reality is me, the existence. Here me is not this body or the mind. There is another way also of explaining all these things. Very famous line is there. Yadrishyam tajjadam tannashwaram tanmithya tadasat. What? Yadrishyam, that which can be perceived, known, seen. Tat jadam is inert. Why? Because a sentiency cannot be perceived. Sentiency cannot be known as an object. Sentiency cannot be seen. You may see the effect of electricity, but you cannot see electricity. You cannot perceive it. So what you perceive is inert. Yadrishyam tajjadam. Now what is inert is perishable. Why? Because something that is inert is created at a particular time, and therefore it will end at a particular time. Yadrishyam tajjadam tat nashwaram. Nashwaram, perishable. Now something that exists now but is going to end is called as mithya, unreal. Why? Because its existence is not permanent. It is there now, but it is going to end afterwards. It is unreal. It is mithya. It is neither sat. Remember? Mithya. It's neither sat. Why? Because it is not always existent. But it is not even asat. Why? Because it is appearing now. Tat mithya. So yadrishyam, that which is perceived, known, tajjadam, is inert. That is nashwara, perishable. And because it is nashwara, it is mithya, tat mithya. Now, oh my dear, please understand, something that is mithya is asat. Asat is not there. Huh? What do you mean it is not there? It may be appearing now, but it is not there. Yatha marumarichika. So marumarichika kalpam. Marumarichika kalpam means what? You do perceive mirage water, but it is not there. Sand alone is. The substratum alone is. There is no superimposition. So everything that is seen is finally non-existent. See, yadrishyam tajjadam tannashwaram tanmithya tadasat. and the entire anātmā is seen. Vedji? Objects are seen, elements are seen, mind is seen. What about māyā? What about kārana śarīra? Kārana śarīra is also seen. Why? I know nothing. In my deep sleep, what is my experience? I know nothing. So that nothing, that ignorance is also known to me. So that is also known. That is known means it is inert. Inert means perishable. Perishable means unreal. Unreal means non-existent. Māyā, māyākāryaṃ sarvaṃ. Starting from māyā and all the effects of māyā. Mahadādi dehendriyaprāṇamano'hamādayaḥ. Starting from mahat, total mind, up to deha, up to gross body, asat. You can say here non-existent also, there is no problem. Idam, it is this. Anātma tattvam, it is not the self. Tvam vidhi, please understand this to be marumarichika kalpam. It is like mirage water on the desert sand. It appears to be there, it is seen also, but it is going to end, it is inert, and finally it is non-existent, it is not there. You may see the mirage water, but can your thirst be quenched by that mirage water? No, it cannot be. Why? Because it is not there. Sometimes in our mind only we imagine, oh, if I have this, it will be so nice. But with that, whatever you are imagining, your thirst, hunger is not going to be satisfied. Why? Because it is not there. But which body is there? No, it is not there. But I see the body, that's why it is not there. Because you see the body. Yadrishyam tannashwaram. Yadrishyam tajjadam tannashwaram. Tan mitya tadasat. The very fact that you know something proves that it is not there. Okay? Okay. So basically, whatever I knew so far, you have said that is not there. Then what is there? You are there. Who I am? Paramah ka atma. That is the next question that is taken for explanation. Okay. Remember the verse? Ko nāma bandha kathamesha agatah katham pratisthāsya katham vimokshah ko savanātmā paramah ka atma tayor vivekah kathametadducchatam. So in that verse, 7 questions were there, out of which Shankaracharya has answered 2. Katham vimokshah, kaha asau anātmā. Now the third question, answer to the third question begins, paramah ka atma. Next verse, 124 onwards up to 136. 124 to 136 is the explanation of this paramah ka atma. Okay, that we will start in the next session. Okay, see how methodical Shankaracharya is. One by one, he is explaining things and putting everything in perspective for us to show you, see, this is like this, this is like this. That is greatness. Chalo. Let us conclude today. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om.